The first section then that we're going to look at are what are the roles and responsibilities that are required to deliver and manage a BTEC program. What I'm going to do here is not read everything that's on the screen because that's not beneficial to me or to you. Each role has got its context within the framework of BTEC and has an important part to play in the delivery. I would say that it is definitely a team effort to deliver BTEC qualifications. Without one of these links, it doesn't work. So just be aware that if you are taking on BTECs, as with any qualification, you do need a team of people that can work together and fulfill these roles. Not that you have to have one person for every role. Roles can be duplicated, and we're famous for that in education, aren't we? Expecting people to wear more than one hat at any one time. So the head of centre, that might be known in your centre as a principal, a CEO, head of school. All sorts of terminology is applicable, but it's the person who is going to sign the terms and conditions and accept overall responsibility for the compliance to the BTEC expectations, rules and regulations and quality assurance model as a whole. If that person changes, and we know that happens just now and again in education, so if that person changes, we must be notified in writing. Now, I'm not going to go into the wheres and wherefores of what happens when you put it in writing to us, but if you do have a change of head of centre, the easiest way to get hold of the form to do that is to email us in the VQA team, and our details are on this presentation at the end under the support section. So have no fear, you will always have that close by. Quality nominee is a very important role and is often one that is duplicated with either the exams officer or a program leader or a head of department, depending on your school makeup, how many courses you are running, how many staff you have. But the quality nominee is not just an administration job. They do have responsibility for ensuring effective management of the programs, and I'm going to talk just a little bit more about that in a moment. Exams officer is definitely our point of contact for administration. The key duties for the exam officer, as with all qualifications, accurate learner registration, exam entries and certification claims. So that's a key role. Program leader, you would have overall view of a specific course or specific subject area. Lead internal verifier, I've highlighted there that that's a highly important role, and I'm going to talk more about the lead internal verifier over the next few slides. But they have a responsibility to ensure that on a specific qualification, the BTEC internal assessment rules are complied with. Internal verifier, I'm going to talk about again. The assessor is the cornerstone. Without the assessor delivering and assessing the course, we don't have BTEC courses. So vitally important there. The key overarching thing about roles and responsibilities is that your BTEC team must meet regularly. They must build into that meeting schedule, review of the provision, the opportunity to share good practice. Important that you have regular CPD opportunities, both internal and external. BTEC training is important to show that you are keeping up to date with the required standards and knowledge base. Assessors must be vocationally competent for BTECs. What that means is that they must hold subject-specific qualifications or industry experience. And if you are going to be applying for approval to run a specific BTEC, then evidence of that vocational competency must be provided on application for approval. The next two slides that I'm going to just talk through very briefly are frequently asked questions from centres that we have in relation to roles and responsibilities. So, can individuals hold more than one role? Yes, as I've already said, somebody can wear multiple hats. So it may be that you have an assessor who is also an internal verifier, or an assessor who is also the lead internal verifier, or a program leader who's a lead internal verifier. So those hats can be interchangeable. What can't happen is an assessor cannot internally verify or moderate, perhaps might be a term you're more familiar with. An assessor cannot internally verify their own assignments, their own assessed work. That is the only job that can't be done by the same person. You can't assess and internally verify your own units. The internal verifier, I've just answered that one, but the IV must be somebody who understands the subject and the IV requirements for BTEC programs. But that does not necessarily mean that they have to teach on the program. So it may be that you are looking to deliver BTEC Sport and you already run BTEC PE, GCSE PE. So you might have one member of staff that's just going to deliver the BTEC, but you've also got another sports member of staff that delivers on the GCSE, who could be the internal verifier because they have the subject knowledge and they have an understanding of internal verification processes. The quality nominee, does the quality nominee have to have a teaching program? Not necessarily, but an understanding of quality assurance is needed, because the overarching role for the QN is the focus on overseeing quality assurance and improvements to programs, and therefore a teaching background to support and give advice is beneficial but not mandatory. Does a quality nominee have to be a senior member of staff? No, but as it says there, responsibilities, because it's ensuring compliance with quality assurance, they must have the authority to act with regards to ensuring compliance from teams and have the support from senior management in order to carry out those duties. So they don't have to be a senior member of staff, but if the role is delegated, they do need to have the authority to influence quality assurance in your centre. So we've talked about who the head of centre is, the person with overall responsibility. What about if you are a small centre? And I saw that some of you are from PRUs or special education centres, and they often are the centres who are small and may only have one person who will teach on your BTEC. Support can come from someone else who has similar skills or knowledge. So you can have support within your own school. It's no problem if you're a one-man band. We have lots of centres like that, and there are lots of ways for you to network and interact with other centres in your region. And some of the ways that we recommend quality nominees and centres to do that is through our social media. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, and we've got a community forum. And those are excellent ways that you can ask other QNs questions, share information, share good practice, seek support for your needs. Does the IV need to have an assessor's qualification? No, but we do expect them to have BTEC and subject understanding, and that at the start of the year they have gone through a standardization process so that everybody from the assessor to the internal verifier to the lead IV are all delivering, assessing, marking, giving feedback to the same standards. Does the lead IV need qualifications? No, but again, that understanding of BTECs and undertaking an annual registration process and annual standardization must take place. So BTEC quality assurance, this is getting into the nitty-gritty now. Being able to guide your staff and your learners through a BTEC program requires you to understand that there are different things that happen throughout the year, as with every single qualification and awarding body. And so we have various things in place that will support you with that. So what I'm going to do here is show you where some from. We have a detailed year planner. When you get these materials, anything that is in blue and underlined is a hyperlink. So if you click on, don't do it now because your hyperlinks won't work, but when you get your pack, if you click on the BTEC Quality Nominee Support Hub, you will directly be taken to this page. It's our page on the Pearson website. We are in control of this and develop this based on our understanding of what you need, because we have done the job that quality nominees have done and have all been active in centres. So we've all worn those multiple hats. So we have an understanding from your side as to what is needed. We have an understanding from the Pearson side what is needed. We also frequently ask quality nominees to give us feedback, and so quite a bit of development of our hub has come from You Said We Did to help quality nominees across the country. So here we have the picture of the vocational quality nominees. Me on the left of the picture there, who covers the south and southwest. Michelle covers sort of the northern part of England. Rhonda is the London, Essex and Kent area. Helen, who's with us today, the Midlands, Staffordshire, Wales and Northern Ireland. Bless her, she's all over the place. And Howie is sort of East Coast England. What you can also do, because I don't expect you to remember that, and there's not a test at the end of this, if you click on Find My VQA, it brings up a map with our regions and will direct you to the person that you need to speak to. So it's not a memory game. What you have here on the right-hand side underneath quality nominees, you have a page here which is deliberately set up. We've set up our hub to try and be a one-stop shop for you for quality assurance. So getting started is where we have put useful pages that we think you will need to know where they are and get to. You'll see there a link to the My BTEC page, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But there are various links there that will make your life easier, being all in one place. You've also got there our links to our social media for you to sign up to at a later date. You will need a centre number to do that, so that we can make sure that we have genuine Pearson BTEC people joining and giving advice. BTECs, as with every awarding body and education, has lots of acronyms. So this is your go-to place to find out what all those letters stand for. So we've got a useful acronyms guide there for you as well. Again, not wanting you to risk your memory at any point. Managing vocational quality is where we have put all those useful documents. So all of the documents, key planning documents here, are sections of a quality handbook. Years ago, they all used to be in one document. Now they are separated out so you can specifically go quick and easy guide to the part that you are looking for. So if you want to find out some more about lead internal verifiers, that is right there for you. You don't need to sort through a great big thick book to find it. And the year planner, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, is also there, which is great to download, have on your wall, and map out your year for you. What we also have, the resources page. As I said, we've been where you are. We also have listened to things that quality nominees have asked for, and therefore we've created some new resources for you. These resources are not mandatory for you to use. They are there if you want them. Okay, we are not saying we've created them, therefore you have to use them. You use them if they are useful to you. It's not a must do, it's a nice to do if you need it. I don't expect you to take all of that in one go. It's just making sure that you are aware of what's available and to reassure you that you are not on your own. If you want more information about what I'm talking about today, you can book on to our BTEC Quality Assurance entry to level 3 events, or indeed if you're a new QN, into our role of QN events, and the details of that I will cover at the end of this afternoon's session. So the next 3 slides, just a very brief breakdown as to what you could expect to go through if you're planning your quality year. As in all educational programs, planning takes priority. So that is your that's your summer work, that's your September work, registering of your learners, ensuring that all the paperwork is produced, the schemes of work, the assignment briefs. The assignment briefs are moderated or internally verified, as we call it. And your lead IVs are registering or reinstating their status ready for the coming year. So there's pre-learner activity that we always have to do. When I'm talking about documentation, what is important for you and your staff to know is that we do not expect you to recreate the wheel with everything. A lot of work has gone in, especially for the newer qualifications, to provide more and more resources that your staff can use. We appreciate how busy it is in education on the front line. And so you do not have to reinvent the wheel. Schemes of work are provided for the majority of qualifications. Assignment briefs are pre-written. There is sample marked learner work to really guide your staff on how to assess and the level of assessment that needs to take place. Templates for internal verification. So, you know, it's not as administratively burdensome as you might think. There are certainly some things that you need to do, but a lot of that legwork has been done for your staff. Pearson documents have been provided, but you do, again, they are not mandatory. If you want to create your own because you have a set way for your centre and every course is developed using the same paperwork, that is fine as long as all of the relevant information is included as on the Pearson templates. Lead IVs I've talked about. Quality management review is an annual quality assurance process which takes place in the year and takes a holistic view of all of your BTEC provision. Standards verification is the external moderation or external verification of the work to ensure that you are meeting standards so that nationally we are sure that there is fairness, equity and robustness in all BTEC provision. January to April then is a particularly busy time for quality assurance processes and activities. Some of this is timeline critical. And so it is important that you and your staff understand, especially in relation to quality management review visits. And I apologise for using acronyms on the slides here, but if I wrote out everything, the slide would be too many words for you to read. So QMR is quality management review. That's the annual process. That is a new process this year, so I will explain that in a moment in very brief details. And January to April is a really busy time for sending off samples of work for standards verification, that external checking process. So that is a really time critical period in our academic year. May to July then, that's when you can put your feet up. Not really. It's tidying up the year, doing your evaluations, your reviews, claiming certifications, making sure all the exams have been done, submission of student report forms, which are your notification to us of achievement. So that's the tidying up of the end of the year period. Quality management review, I've mentioned that a few times. So what is it? It's an annual process that from this year operates over a 3-year cycle. The aim is that we work with you to ensure that any BTEC programs that you are delivering and the processes that you have in your centre meet the expectations of Pearson BTEC and are matching that national standard. During that 3 years, you will have at least one physical visit from a centre quality reviewer, and the other 2 years, providing everything stays absolutely fine and you're meeting standards, you will be remotely checked through what's called a desktop review. The centre quality reviewer will make a judgment on your centre based on information that you provide and information that they find out from you against 10 quality objectives and measures. Those are all recorded and you have to complete what's called a centre engagement document. Out of those 10 objectives, I'm not going to baffle you with science, but out of those 10 objectives, there are 4 critical ones which, if you cannot provide sufficient evidence that you are meeting those standards, can create a block for your centre and block certification of your learners. So it is a very important process, and certainly all of the provisions that you identified that you are either looking to deliver or are delivering now are included in that QMR process. BTEC Lead Internal Verifier. So here at the bottom of the slide, again, blue underlined, that is your link directly to the quality handbook relating to lead internal verifiers. We do really recommend that these handbooks are put in a central location on a BTEC section of your centre intranet, accessible to anyone who's involved in BTEC delivery at your centre. Bookmark them because they are your go-to documents. It's a regulatory requirement to have a lead internal verifier for each of your programs. It may be that you're delivering level 2 and level 3 health and social care, in which case you can have the same person that covers both of those programs. or you may decide that you need to split that responsibility because you're in a large centre and you've got a large cohort. That person is responsible and is the point of accountability for quality assurance on those programs. They must train or standardise your teaching team so everyone is working to the same standard from the start of the year, and that needs to happen before any formal assessment takes place, and there is a timeline for that that you will see in the year planner. They must sample assessment and internal verification decisions, and they are the only ones who can approve for learners to have resubmissions or retakes on their programs. And again, I'm not in this session going to explain when a resubmission is available and when it's not, because that is covered on the other training that we offer to you. BTEC Assessment then, in this section we talk about internal assessment. So that's the assessment of any work that your teachers, your assessors have devised and set for themselves, for your learners. It may be that they've set them a practical task to do, it may be they've set them a presentation to do, a group discussion or written work, whatever it is. If it's internally set, it's internally assessed, and they're responsible for meeting BTEC assessment rules, and those are covered in that internal assessment guide. Internal verification, you might know that as moderation. That's the process by which internal assignment briefs and the marked work is checked to ensure the assignment briefs are fit for purpose and that assessment decisions are fair and accurate and valid against the criteria that needs to be assessed in any particular assignment. External assessment then relates to any qualifications that have externally produced assessments, so externally produced by Pearson and marked by Pearson. Those might be what are called external tasks, which are completed under controlled conditions, or they might be exams. And again, there is a lot of information being put out there now and a lot of training events to do with the external units on our newer qualifications and advice on how to prepare learners for those external units. So again, you and your staff are not on your own in preparing and understanding how to get the best out of your learners for those particular units. Standards verification then is the external process through which national standards are reviewed. It's the process through which judgments are made to ensure that your teams are checked for accuracy, fairness and compliance with the rules. Being successful through this process will ensure that your programs are released, and that ensures that your learners can be certified in the relevant year. If there is a concern over the quality or the BTEC internal assessment rules are not being met and applied properly, then that can create a block and the need to submit additional samples to ensure the quality is improved. So additional sources of information. Okay. I've mentioned the BTEC Centre guides, but these are worth mentioning again. They really are your go-to documents. The link is there again, and again I've put these documents can be found on the Pearson website. If you type in BTEC Key Documents, they are there. But to make it nice and easy for you, if you bookmark our Quality Nominee Hub pages that I showed you, all the guides are there. And they really are straightforward, easy to understand, and therefore everyone that's in the room with us today and any assessors, teachers, IVs. You know, these are your guides. You'll see on the screen there as well the blue box, Quality Nominees newsletters. I'll highlight that to you because if you become a quality nominee or are a quality nominee, the fact that you've got that identified in Edexcel Online means that you will automatically be signed up for that newsletter. But if you are a member of senior management team or a head of department or your assessors or lead IVs, you too can sign up and get your staff to sign up to those quality nominee newsletters. We send those out automatically each month to any QNs and those that are signed up for it. In that newsletter, we put jobs for the month, we put updates, news on any developments that we think are important for you to know month to month. So it's really a handy guide to keep you up to date with any developments, any changes, any good news, and things that are happening quality based. So please do, on our hub, sign up for that if you are not already a quality nominee. BTEC documentation I have mentioned, but what I have included in here is my BTEC. Again, we like to assist you in time saving. So there is a platform called My BTEC, which helps you to devise a system to help manage the delivery and assessment of your programs. This has been recently updated. The platform has been updated. The idea is that this reduces the burden of administration on your staff, because a lot of the paperwork that you need is generated once you enter in the units that you're taking and what criteria you want included on assignments. It creates it for you. So you, as it says there, you can control your BTEC provision in one place. You have access for the full team so they can see the full program. It's a time saver, and it's easy to use. I'm not going to go through each of those now, but again, the link is on the slide in your pack there for you to see. Okay, just waiting for my screen to catch up. There we go. Okay, technology, love it. Okay, so the My BTEC blue underlined is the hyperlink to those pages to help you see what else is out there for you. So Pearson Support, what can we do to support you? As I said, you're never on your own. There are two teams that will help you with your BTEC quality assurance. You have, once you become an approved centre, as I'm sure you already know, you have a dedicated customer account specialist. For schools, you are all schools or colleges here today, so that 0344 463 2535 number is your link customer account specialist. Basically, you phone that number, you'll enter your centre number, and that will put you through to your named account specialist. They will be able to help you with administration of the qualifications, things like Edexcel Online, registration, certification of learners, and some of the fundamental quality assurance questions that you might have on where you might find information and things like that. You then have us, the VQA team. We use a dedicated email address that's monitored by the 5 of us, and it's that quality nominees, don't forget the S on there, qualitynominees@pearson.com. Please do use that email address to contact us. That ensures that we can provide you a fast turnaround service. For example, I'm obviously and Helen are doing this event now, but if an emergency came in from one of my centres, the other people in the team are monitoring that inbox and will see that something urgent has come in. So that's why we say please use that generic email address. We will answer you because I am your named VQA if you're from Cornwall or Devon or Dorset, and so I will be the person that responds. Likewise, if you're from the West Midlands, it will be Helen that responds. So you will get a personal response. We just need to monitor everything through a central point. What we can do for you, again, these are quick links. The quality nominee is a link there. I've shown you what is available, and please do bookmark that because it is vitally important. You have the links again there to Facebook, Twitter, and the forum. Facebook speaks for itself. Twitter speaks for itself. The Quality Nominee Forum is sort of a community forum type blog stroke information giving site, whereas Facebook is really a place where you can ask questions and interact with other quality nominees. So please do use those sites. Training then, we do events like this to give you an introduction. We also deliver quality nominee networking events throughout the year. Some of those are online. We do specialist events such as if people are delivering higher nationals, we will do a higher nationals. If you're work-based learner, we'll deliver that. And then we do the generic quality nominee events for new and experienced and sort of the quality assurance events. Online and throughout and during the year, there will be face-to-face events as well across the country. We do VQA surgeries, so more informal drop-in type sessions, and we can, when there is a need, come to the centre and deliver some bespoke training for staff, especially if a centre is having trouble with something, having some challenges, or a big turnover of staff and you've suddenly got lots of new staff. We would work with you to find the best way to support you and those staff and what sort of training would be best for us to provide for you. So please do not feel as though you are on your own. The network events that we have at the moment, so if you want more information following this session, there are 2 events that might be of interest to you. The role of quality nominee is designed to really go through those roles and responsibilities and how to get set up as a quality nominee if you've only just taken on that post. And then intro to quality assurance goes into all of those things I've talked about today in more detail to give you a bit more of the nuts and bolts about how those systems work and what the expectations are. You can book onto those events by using that hyperlink BTEC training. That will take you directly to the quality nominee section of the training page. So please do feel free to book onto those. We have some more events running between now and the end of the year, and then we'll be releasing through our newsletters the events that we're going to be delivering from January to July. We're almost done with information, but there are other teams in Pearson that are there to support you. The BTEC Assessment team are the experts when it comes to looking at BTEC internal and external assessment, so they can give you advice and support if you have specific questions relating to Perhaps it's in relation to the design or the content or the marking of an external assessment. They would be able to support you with that. Or you have a question regarding decisions made by your standards verifiers. They would be the team to go to for that. Exams officers speaks for itself. Registrations, exam entries, transfers of learners from one qualification to another, and certification. The Ask the Expert service takes you to your subject advisors, so the subject specialists. So if you or your staff have a specific question regarding some criteria or content of a qualification, they are your go-to people. They are the experts that have the knowledge that can support the content delivery of the specification.